For 11 years, the Crime Prevention Ottawa Awards have made a point of focusing on the people and initiatives that are creating positive change in our community. It's a special evening for everyone. So it's important that we mention that CPO's chair, Councillor Diane Deans, is not able to be with us this evening. On behalf of everyone here tonight, we wish her a speedy recovery. We have a very exciting evening ahead of us, though, and I know that she would want us to have a good time. In addition to celebrating our winners and finalists, Mayor Jim Watson will launch Crime Prevention Week with the city's new police chief, Peter Slowly. This year's theme is Crime Prevention, Preventing Crime, Protecting People.
Alors, comme c'est une soirée vraiment très spéciale ce soir, nous aurions aimé avoir la présidente du Conseil de prévention du crime Ottawa, conseillère Diane Deans, avec nous. Elle ne peut pas y être. Par contre, nous lui faisons part de nos vœux les plus sincères et nous lui souhaitons un prompt rétablissement. Nous aimerions maintenant inviter le maire Jim Watson à prendre la parole et à lancer officiellement l'ouverture de la semaine de la prévention de la criminalité, dont le thème cette année est prévenir le crime, protéger la population.
Don't step back there. Well, thank you very, very much, Jeanette and Stéphane. Stéphane, best dressed guy in broadcasting, bar none, and Jeanette Gratton, a member of the Order of Ottawa. Elder, you're going to have to go to Yuck Yucks, I think. You've got a great career as a stand-up comedian. And to both elders who are with us here today, my deepest respect, and it's an honor to be on traditional, unsurrendered, unceded territory of the Algonquin Nation. Alors, mesdames et messieurs, mes collègues du conseil municipal de la ville d'Ottawa, les bénévoles, les membres du conseil d'administration pour le service de police d'Ottawa, c'est vraiment un plaisir pour moi de dire bienvenue à l'hôtel de ville. Welcome to your city hall, to my colleagues from council, and I know some will be introduced and giving out awards in just a few moments. I also want to thank Crime Prevention Ottawa and Nancy and her entire team, Jim DeVoe, the president of the board of directors, for the great work that they do in preventing crime. Because it's one thing our new chief and his great men and women of the Ottawa Police Service do in protecting us, but we also have to prevent crimes from taking place in the first hand. And CPO, as you all know, is the Advisory Committee for Community Safety and Wellbeing, and is a great vehicle to reach out to so many people from different communities, and we see that here today. Alors, c'est une occasion pour moi de dire vraiment merci beaucoup pour les bénévoles de CPO, pour votre bon travail et votre dévouement. Tonight is about our award winners. I had a chance to meet some of the award winners earlier today. Always inspired and always impressed with these individuals, and I was just reading through some of their biographies. Unfortunately, we have our city budget on Wednesday. I have to go and sign off on the final documents right after this, so I won't be able to stay too much longer, but I did want to say congratulations to the winners, and also congratulations to the runners-up for the good work that you have done to make our city an even safer place. I also want to thank the board members, and as Stéphane pointed out, I know that Diane is with us in spirit. She may even be watching us on Facebook Live, but we thank Diane for her leadership for many years, both as chair of the Police Services Board, as well, of course, as the chair of Crime Prevention Ottawa, and a thank you to Jim DeVoe, who stepped up to become the acting chair of Crime Prevention Ottawa. Also, thank you to our new Chief of Police Chief, Charles Slowly, who is going to be with us in just a moment to present this proclamation. But the chief comes from a small town in Ontario called Toronto. I don't know if you've heard about it, but I think he used to be a Leafs fan. He's now a Sens fan. That was part of his contract and the fine print that I hope he didn't strike out. But Chief, it's great to, I just called you Charles for some reason. I'm just looking down. I do know a Charles Slowly though. Chief, it's great to have you with us here today. As well as members of the Board of Directors, because the Board of Directors set the guidance for Crime Prevention Ottawa, and the City of Ottawa is proud to be one of the funding partners. So I'd ask the Chief and Jim DeVoe to come forward, and we have the official proclamation. I'll just read it out very briefly. Welcome. Thanks, Jim. Sorry about that. Whereas the Provincial Ministry of Community Safety and Correctional Services, in partnership with the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police, has declared the week of November 3rd to November 9th Crime Prevention Week with the theme Preventing Crime, Protecting People. Entendu que le service de la police d'Ottawa à prévention du crime Ottawa estime que chacun peut jouer un rôle positif dans la sécurité de nos résidences, de nos quartiers, de nos communautaires et de nos espaces publics, whereas the Ottawa Police Service and Crime Prevention Ottawa believe that everyone can play a positive role in keeping our homes, neighborhoods, communities, and public spaces safe. Par conséquent, chez Jim Watson, maire de la ville d'Ottawa, programme par la présente la période au 3 au 9 septembre 2019, semaine de la prévention du crime à Ottawa. Therefore, I, Jim Watson, mayor of the city of Ottawa, do hereby proclaim November 3rd to 9th Crime Prevention Week in the city of Ottawa, and we welcome our new chief to accept this proclamation. Merci. Thank you.
Chief, we'll ask that you not get too comfortable. We're so happy to have you here in our midst, and correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe it's the Chief's first official event like this as Chief of Ottawa, so we are honored and privileged to have you here. If you don't mind coming forward and offering us a few words.
So folks, you'll excuse me if I'm a little nervous because this is actually my first public presentation. My Monday started off last week with a presentation of the board, but this is me in front of you and me part of you, so it'll be a little bit different. I first want to speak directly to Thomas Lewitt, our Cree elder, and I will hold your grandson in thought and prayers as he goes through his battle with cancer, and we hope for a speedy and full recovery and a healthy life for him and a healthy life for your community. I also want to very quickly recognize, before I get into my comments, all the men and women from the Ottawa Police Service who are here. They're led by Deputy Chief Uday Jaswal. We have officers from our front line. We have civilian members. We have our volunteers and a number of other senior members of our organization who are here. This is a very busy night in Ottawa, and there's a great many other events, and we're represented there as well. Embedded in the community is our commitment ongoing to that part of the essential mission of policing. Cops and community co-producing public safety. You'll never have enough police officers in any jurisdiction, small, medium, or large, who are able to carry out the mission of public safety. We need community partners. A very wise gentleman who I used to work for said that the safety that we enjoy in this great country and in this city comes from amazing police officers and their civilian partners within the organization. But mostly it comes from caring human beings, from every walk of life, from every profession, from every part of every community, who are willing to step forward, to step up, to sacrifice, and to put sometimes their own lives on the line, their own reputations, in order to create safe spaces, to put programs designed to create safety, to not look for a handout, but always be willing to offer a hand up to those in need. And this room is full of people like that. We're going to be honoring people who, through a very rigorous nomination process and strict review, will receive awards tonight, very deserving awards. But there are many more people in here who will not receive those awards, who are running their own community crime prevention programs. And I want to just ask, before we get into the formal program, those of you that are running a crime prevention program, but you're not an award winner tonight, can you please stand up and be recognized very briefly? So you're not getting an award, but you're actually, I met some of you, you're sitting in the front row. Stand up and be recognized. So, to my formal remarks. Bonsoir tout. Un plaisir d'être avec vous ce soir. Board, Mayor, Police Service Board members, Chair Smallwood, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be here tonight. I want to thank Nancy Worsford and her team at the Crime Prevention Ottawa for hosting these awards every year, and particularly for this opportunity for me to be here in my very first public speaking announcement. It's my first time attending, as I've talked about, and I've met many of the award winners tonight. I can tell you I'm incredibly inspired by their individual life stories and their stories about how they came up with the idea for their particular prevention initiative. They're all amazing, they're all different, they all have unique impacts. And I'm sure all of you are going to be very thrilled and inspired as I was as you hear more about the programs and have a chance to meet these wonderful individuals. As we kick off Crime Prevention Week, it's important that we take time to recognize those who've gone above and beyond in helping to make this city safer, more resilient, more inclusive, more sustainable. My vision is to work with our community partners, and folks like the ones being honored here tonight help to make Ottawa one of the safest major cities in Canada, and will ultimately make the Ottawa Police Service one of the best police agencies anywhere in the world. The quality of our people and the quality of the partnerships that they form in the community will be the foundation upon which our reputation is built. We can get there, we can reach that vision if we have the help of all of you here tonight, pulling together. Leaders in community partnerships, leaders in community-led crime prevention initiatives. In 2016, in my former city, there was a series of very high-end shootings that happened, and I was then a member of the private sector, and I was asked to write an editorial in the Globe and Mail around what can be done to curb violent crime, what can we do to address the issues underlying crime in any city, in any community. And from a policing standpoint, I said policing has to move from a predominantly reactive and enforcement-driven model into something that is built on a proactive prevention model. For a number of reasons. None of us want to be the victim of a crime and have a perfect response by the local police. We'd rather not be a victim in the first instance. The better job that you all do around crime prevention, the less work that my officers have to do in their general duties. It also, the enforcement model creates the highest cost. It's the most expensive way to run a police department from a financial standpoint. And every act of enforcement is a failure along a continuum of other failures. Every time one of my officers have to put handcuffs on somebody, it's a failure of the family, it's a failure of the community, it's a failure of health and education and the social services. And so it's a necessary part of society, unfortunately, but it should be the least invested part. And where we invest more upstream, we get a bigger financial and social reward. Less people victimized, less people incarcerated, less money and time going into the back end of the criminal justice system. Now, I will tell you that it's an incredibly important role that the police play. And none of my words here today should tell you that my officers and my own commitment is that when something bad happens, we will respond as perfectly as we can be with the best human beings possible to create the right outcomes in that moment of crisis. But in every other instance, we want to be working with you upstream, preventing these things from getting to that point. Those proactive programs encourage us all and should inspire us all, the police and the community, to keep co-producing solutions to enhance the safety of where we live, work, and play. Again, I would encourage you over the next week to visit our community police officers, visit any of our officers anywhere, but particularly in the Carlingwood Mall on November 6th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., at the Billingsbridge Mall on November 6th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., or the Rideau Center on November 7th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., all part of the Crime Prevention Week. Our officers will have a wealth of information on how you can enhance your own personal safety and will be able to answer any questions you may have. Policing in Canada has to better acknowledge and address long-standing issues between police and community to effectively and sustainably engage, serve, and protect the community. We have our challenges here and across this country, understanding each other, working with each other, feeling each other, seeing each other, hearing each other. But when we come together around a common purpose to safeguard our communities, to build resilience, we will be able to find a way through those activities to bridge that gap, to earn respect amongst each other, and to demonstrate a new willingness to work together in very different and better ways. Connecting officers in our communities will be a cornerstone of my tenure here, largely through our neighborhood response teams, but through every effort to get our officers more available and embedded within community. I hope there will be a reciprocating effort to welcome them and work with them in return. We can all do our part to use crime prevention tools like our free home inspections, removing valuables from our cars, and even connecting with our partners at Crime Stoppers. We can do this together. We can make a better city together. Je voudrais féliciter le récipiendaire. Vous êtes remarquable. We do this together. Thank you. Allons-y. Merci et bonne soirée.
At this time, we'd want to thank the selection committee who had the very challenging task of selecting our winners and finalists. Thank you to Ed Buller, Ahmed Lukman, Karim Meki, Asfia Sultan, and Remy Yamaremai.
Alors, merci à tous les membres du comité de sélection pour leur travail. Merci aussi à l'équipe de prévention du crime Ottawa. So without further delay, we are pleased to introduce to you our 8 Crime Prevention Ottawa Award winners.
Our first award, the Volunteer Award, goes to Adam Halawa. Adam is the creator, sole organizer, and tireless leader of Ball Till I Fall, a program that provides a healthy and productive alternative to dangerous or illegal behavior. Ball Till I Fall has filled an important gap by providing sports-based programming for young people up to 30 years who may be at greater risk of being recruited for criminal activity because they are outside of the school stream. Adam runs activities at key times to keep participants occupied when they're most at risk of unhealthy or criminal behavior. He also encourages members to develop skills such as photography or website design to help identify career options and positive outlets for their creativity. Adam's endless enthusiasm and tireless energy are contagious. Since 2015, Ball Till I Fall has grown to 100 members with many more on the waiting list. Thanks to Adam's hard work and networking, the program's success has been repeated through similar programs in Toronto and other cities.
Ball Till I Fall Canada was established in 2015. I was 21 years old. I was in my third-year university, and yeah, it was time. I had it in the back of my mind for a little while to start something, start a foundation or start an initiative, start something that can be beneficial to the community and the local neighborhoods in Ottawa. Our program is very aware of the types of crimes and the high crime rates in these specific areas. It's nothing new to our program. Most of the locations we choose are based on, how vulnerable is that community, right? It's not just about the sports. The sports is just a means to get these kids on the right path. Through them coming to our programs, they're getting not only the time to play their sports, they're getting workshops, they're getting fed, they're getting taught new skills that are going to help them. We even help youth with their homework. Ball Till I Fall Canada, it's not a brand, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. It doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what your job is, what your background is. Ball Till I Fall, it's a saying. It's basically give it your all until you fall. That's really what it is. So if you're in school and you're struggling, give it all. Ball till you fall, right? But the bigger plan for Ball Till I Fall Canada is to really reach the nationwide. We would love to have programs all over the country and bring the nation together. It's just about making the community kind, making the community happy, making it a safer place, making it a place where everybody just wants to be. For me, it's not the job is not done, but what it means and what I hope people take from it is, it doesn't matter how busy you are, it doesn't matter how hard your life is. Everybody can volunteer a little bit of time to make a difference in the community.
Our sincere appreciation for this work. Adam, congratulations. Adam cannot be here tonight. Are you Adam? No? Okay. So Anthony Nahas will accept the award on his behalf, and it will be presented by Councillor Jean Cloutier. And also 2 Crime Prevention Ottawa Board members, community leader and retired research director Ed Buller, and Stéphane Giguère, the CEO of Ottawa Community Housing. Alors, Jean. Aussi. I see old friends on stages like this. Le prochain lauréat est l'équipe de Parkwood Hills Youth Leadership Program. This year's winner of the Community Program Award, the Parkwood Hills Youth Leadership Program, provides a safe space where youth aged 12 to 17 can learn leadership skills and complete volunteer hours. Formed 2 years ago, the program has helped improve community safety by engaging low-income, newcomer, and at-risk youth. Parkwood Hills youth are actively involved in organizing, planning, and delivering meaningful activities in their neighborhood. This year, they organized a family movie night, supported a local after-school program, completed a community mural through the Paint It Up program, and helped local seniors improve their computer skills. The program has created a safe, a welcoming space that has allowed these young leaders to develop friendships, build confidence, and build a sense of community pride. As a result, they have become role models for younger children and have developed strong community partnerships that will help the group access resources for the future.
Well, I enjoyed meeting new people, so every week I see like new faces showing up, and it's just as a whole pretty fun because we do activities and it's new every week.
We did the Paint It Up project. There was, we had a movie night, 2 actually, one last year about saving the environment, and then one this year to celebrate the Paint It Up.
The program provides a safe and non-judgmental environment to the youth, to engage and participate. They always provide opportunities for them to make decisions and also taking a lead in planning, implementing activities.
Well, the program lets me like reach out a lot. So like when we're organized like with NROC, we get to organize with like other volunteer communities. So we did, I believe, Techno Buddies, where we helped out like the elderly with technology. And it really helps me like get involved with the community because like as a youth it's kind of daunting because you don't know where to start.
They are a group of committed, engaged youth. They really would like to take part of different local issues impacting their neighborhoods and community, and they really would like to make a difference.
It's kind of a nice starting point for like youths. So it's like they give us like a variety of like choices on what to do. Like we can paint the wall, we can assist at a movie night, we can help out the elderly. It really gives us like a broad spectrum of things to choose from if we want to give back to the community.
It's fun. We do a lot of activities. We help our community. You get your volunteer hours. Most of my friends just really enjoy eating, so I tell them about the snacks.
I mean, it certainly feels good to be like recognized for one of your achievements. I'm pretty sure everyone in the program does indeed feel happy that we did win this award, feels proud of our achievements.
Food and fun, the two definitely go together. Councillor Keith Aglai and Crime Prevention Ottawa Board Member Reverend Dr. Anthony Bailey of the Parkdale United Church will present the award. Will the team from Parkwood Hills Youth please join us on stage? Congratulations. Don't be shy, make sure they can see you. One more. Okay. Oh, we're good. Congratulations again. We're now pleased to present the Youth Engagement Award to West End Youth Motivators. The West End Youth Motivators are an inspiring group of young leaders from Bay Ward who give back to their community by supporting youth aged 12 to 18. These mentors all grew up in low-income housing, and they all want to make a difference. The committee connects with local youth by engaging them in activities and programs and talking about issues that matter. Youth develop friendships, they gain life skills, and they build resilience. Last year, their annual basketball tournament, Balling for Our Brothers, attracted 250 people and raised more than $3,500. A key part of the program's success is the relationships the mentors have developed with each other. They've formed a tight community of friends who lift each other up and model positive behaviors and choices for youth they connect with. Their individual success stories, either through academics or careers or both, prove to youth that the future is bright and the possibilities are endless.
What makes us gel, I feel, is that we all kind of live within the same community. We all have similarities outside of the West End Youth Motivators, and we've all become friends over the years. So now we're basically like a big family.
There's good teamwork, there's chemistry. When things are flowing, ideas bounce off of each other a lot quicker. So we're able to have more productive meetings, and we're able to have like a safe space.
They have identified themselves as community youth leaders, whereby they do engage young people in the community, ages 12 to 18. In recreational activities and also information learning groups.
So for the youth in our community, we're very big on basketball. So, we tell them we have open gym, we have basketball for you guys, and that kind of attracts them. But once we have them in front of us, it's not really about basketball at all. It's all about 1 hour of how we can, create an impact in your life. So I think by continuously pushing that, you could be positive. It doesn't have to be gangs or drugs and all of this. It shows you that if we put our minds to something, we can create change.
We've developed a proven model. It works. We've done it, and I would just like to see it like in other communities and for more people to benefit, and so that, the whole country could be united. Shout out to everyone from the West End and from OSB, and for all the supportive people who came out to our events.
Shout out to everyone who has ever participated and has ever been a West End Youth Motivator. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are today. And shout out to all the youth and the community who has participated in our program and events.
If you're listening to me, West End Youth Motivators, keep doing what you're doing, and just keep your head high and aim for the prize.
Councillor Theresa Kavanagh will present the award with Michael Allen, the President and CEO of United Way and CPO board member. We would ask the West End Youth Motivators to join us on stage. Please come to receive your award. Congratulations. 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 in the front. Go in the middle. We want to see you. You're the only girl in the group.
The other girls couldn't come.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. The next award is the City Employee Award, which goes to Mahmoud Hassan, notre gagnant du prix Employé Municipal. Mahmoud Hassan is a community liaison officer at Youth Futures, a program that gives vulnerable youth the skills, information, support, and practical experience they need to succeed in post-secondary education and beyond. Since 2008, Mahmoud has recruited and mentored youth. His proven approach involves meeting youth where they are, enhancing their strengths, and instilling a sense of community and responsibility. His work on the program Somali Youth Initiative was so successful that it has been extended to all youth in Ottawa and now serves 200 people each year. Permettez-moi de dire cette phrase en français, je trouve ça merveilleux. J'ai déjà rencontré Mahmoud, je trouve qu'il est extraordinaire. Son travail avec les jeunes Somaliens a connu tellement de succès que le programme a été étendu à toute la ville et dessert maintenant 200 personnes. Mahmoud's passion for working with youth is obvious. His colleagues admire him for his compassion and energy. You need someone who work with youth. And youth in the program affectionately refer to him as Adair George, which means Uncle George. I don't get the George part, but somebody will have to explain. Sometimes things are very obvious. I don't see them. My children laugh at me. Mahmoud, my grandchildren too. Mahmoud has seen the fruits of his labors in the individual successes of his students. This evening is particularly special for him, as he watches two former students, Adam Alawa and from Bal Till I Fall, and Sima Bu from the West End Youth Motivators receive awards of their own. It brings tears to my eyes when I think of that. Congratulations, Mahmoud. Let's watch this video about you.
I joined the Youth Futures when it was initially started, and I was asked if I wanted to work with youth, and that was my passion for youth. And I've been working with youth at that time, where I had a project called Somali Youth Initiative that I worked with the city. So it was kind of another extension that I was working with. So I enjoyed working with youth because it's youth-led, youth-planned, and youth mentors working in the program. We as program workers or assisting it, we only do the meetings and we coordinate in high level, but in terms of deliveries, operational, it's youth delivering programs to youth. It's very effective because then you have gaining their trust, their confidence, it has transparency, they are part of the planning, and the success rate will be very high because when you say youth, show me what you can do and give them the tools that they need, they will definitely succeed. What's engaging me all the time to help and work with youth is that I see the programs and services available to youth, but they're so scattered that I go and try to make sure it becomes accessible to those youth. So I'm seeing a real impact in terms of employment, in terms of higher education. So the next step is keep doing what I'm doing, but also engage and empower other youth to take fill up my shoes, but also passing the baton to my grandson and my daughter, who's a social worker.
That's right. Let's hear it for Mahmoud. A well-deserved honor, and he's clearly leaving a legacy. as other young people are receiving awards tonight that he has worked with. Councillor Stephen Blais will present the award with Crime Prevention Ottawa board members Faria Ahmed, who is the co-founder of the Justice for Abdirahman Coalition, and Anthony DeMonte, General Manager of Emergency and Protective Services with the City of Ottawa. Mahmoud, please come forward. We're thrilled to announce our next winner, Wendy Dennis. Wendy has a fan club. Wendy Dennis will receive the Innovation Award for her role in community theater initiatives in Overbrook. Wendy played a key role in planning and organizing 3 community theater projects: Overbrook the Musical, Overbrook Diary, and Starry Nights. The plays offered an opportunity for creative expression, provided a collective voice, and helped the community build resilience and heal from losses, such as the closing of Frito High School, which we know was huge in that community. Working behind the scenes, Wendy brought together a wide diversity of people, including artists, actors, gymnasts, First Nations drummers, and a children's choir. She helped secure funding from the Trillium Foundation and actively promoted the productions. There were so many lawn signs in the community that neighbors began referring to the group's logo as the Pink Flamingo. Wendy worked hard to address concerns about safety while ensuring that the play was accessible to neighborhoods that experienced gun violence. The performances brought about 1,000 neighbors together, and they provided them with an opportunity to make new friendships, build trust, and develop a strong sense of community. Thank you, Wendy Dennis.
Theater is community, and it brings people together, as we were to learn. And we had such a diverse cast. We had somebody of 80. We had a little girl of 3 who turned out to be our star. Our major messages were conveyed through song. And we had some wonderful songs that were written. One called Overbrookies, which was very, very catching. We also had an issue that was happening in the community at the time, which was the impending closure of our only public high school. People were very, very engaged. In fact, I had people come and were crying. They were so moved. There were so many moments in the production that that were special, including an Indigenous drumming group that, in the storyline, they brought hope when things were looking pretty bleak in our storyline. They brought their drums, and that means a lot to me. The point was that we kind of came together as a voice against power. Sharing our stories was really important. There is much more a feel of pride of place. There's more connection between the solitudes, and a lot of friendships have been formed. The feeling was of community, that this took a village to do.
Congratulations, Wendy. The award will be presented by Crime Prevention Ottawa board members Councillor Ralston King, Stéphane Giguère, CEO of Ottawa Community Housing, and Steve Manouk, partner at York Entertainment Group. Wendy, please join us on stage. There you are.
I would like our class to stand up.
Let's hear it for the cast. Woo! Right now, we're pleased to present the Holistic Program Award to the Rajo Project. The Rajo Project works with Somali communities and at-risk Somali men aged 12 to 18 years old. It addresses the impact that trauma can have on young people's behavior by offering them group and one-on-one therapy. By sharing experiences with the community they serve, the Rajo team is well positioned to connect with Somali youth and their families. They understand the different realities that Somali youth and their parents face. Rajo's holistic approach includes culturally sensitive strategies to overcome the stigma towards mental health in Somali communities and educate parents in psychology. The Rajo team connects with families in their homes as well as at school and in the community to support Somali youth in every aspect of their lives. Home visits improve access to services and engage people who might otherwise be reluctant to use those services. In the 2 years since the Rajo Project was founded, families have noticed a decrease in problematic behavior, and Somali youth report that they feel a greater sense of belonging and inclusion.
So Rajo actually means hope in Somali. And so my hope is that we're instilling hope within our communities, and the project takes into consideration the trauma and the violence that a lot of generations have seen in the Somali community. When we speak about the Somali community, I think a lot of the times we tend to paint everybody with one brush. There's a really big acculturation gap between parents and the youth. And I think it goes to show that when families are displaced and they're going through a resettlement process, they often are going through their separate struggles, right? As a 12 to 18-year-old, the struggle you're going through is a lot different than what, let's say, your 40-year-old parents are going through. The trauma systems for refugee works best because it addresses that acculturation gap, and it helps both sides of the equation understand one another. The part where we meet families in their homes comes into play then, because we're not only ensuring that the youth are making the progress that they need to make, but we're also making sure that the family as a whole is seeing that progress. You know, I think it's really important that we all do things that sit well with our soul. There's youth that have said, we wish this project was around when we were in high school or middle school. There's youth that have mentioned that the Rajo Project is a safe space for them to come and talk about the things that they otherwise would have kept to themselves. There's girls and boys who have found a loving and caring community within themselves, and a place where they can go and say, I feel heard and I feel seen, and I also feel empowered here.
Congratulations. The award will be presented by Crime Prevention Ottawa board members Jim DeVoe, Chief Executive Officer of the Congress of Aboriginal Peoples, and Julianne Dunbar, Senior General Counsel and Director General of the Military Police Complaints Commission. We invite the members of the Rajo Project to join us on stage to get their award. Congratulations, beautiful. Congratulations. Our next award is the Leadership Award, which will be presented this year to Janisha Wilson. Janisha is a program manager. Yeah. Janisha Wilson is a program manager at Tungasu Vingat. Did I pronounce it well? Tungasu Vingat Inuit, a provincial provider of services for the 10,000 Inuit living in Ontario. She works to provide culturally sensitive programs to people who are victims of sexual exploitation and human trafficking. In its first 6 months, the program reached 660 people through its mobile outreach van, 414 people at drop-in sessions, and more than 4,000 people via social media. The program also offers peer support, yearly retreats, workshops, and training. Janisha is also the co-creator of the Anti-Violence and Coercion Task Force for Indigenous Organizations and Networks. The acronym is ACTION. ACTION is comprised of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis groups based in the Ottawa region that have come together to address issues of violence and exploitation affecting their communities. Janisha played a key role in designating February 22nd as Human Trafficking Awareness Day in Ontario.
I know that in Canada, Indigenous people, specifically women and girls, make up about 51% of all human trafficking statistics. And in Ottawa, human trafficking is one of the number one crimes that are committed for the province, and Ottawa has the highest statistics. It happens in multiple ways, but the ways that we see it the most is through sexual exploitation, art trafficking, so of carvers, their artwork, as well as children in care who come down to the south for foster care, who are often targeted, sought out, groomed, and trafficked. And so this is why this task force is really important. On February 22nd, we held our 2019. We held our first Indigenous Human Trafficking Awareness Day in Ottawa. We expected a very small turnout. We had over 165 individuals come out to this event, and for us, it was one of the few times Indigenous community members from First Nation, Inuit, and Métis could come together, hold space, and talk about human trafficking, talk about what makes our communities vulnerable. These uncandid, open conversations are not happening too often, and if they are, there's not a lot of room facilitating those discussions. So Action has really brought together that space to talk about these conversations, but also to put action towards it. To see all these different actors from different walks of life in terms of professions come out and to mix and mingle with community members showed me how important this work is, how timely it is, and how sensitive it is in the forefront of people's lives. At the end of the event, when we said our thank yous, I was very emotional, very teary-eyed, because we do this work for the community. The passion that I have for this work, it really comes from having such an amazing team that I work with that does a lot of the background work, so I can be front and center. So for me to be honored with this award based on nomination by peers is incredibly profound, and it leaves me speechless.
That's right. Keep the applause going for Janisha Wilson. Congratulations on your Leadership Award. And the award will be presented by 3 of Crime Prevention Ottawa board members: Kelly Raymond, Executive Director of the Children's Aid Society of Ottawa; Ed Buller, Community Leader and Retired Research Director; and Reverend Dr. Anthony Bailey of the Parkdale United Church. Janisha, we invite you up. Come get your award.
I also want to shout out my team is here.
Shout out to the team. Our final award of the evening is the Youth Leadership Award, awarded to Ankit Chowdhury. Originally from Toronto, Ankit moved to Ottawa 2 years ago to pursue basketball at an elite level. He has also made an impact in the halls of Notre Dame High School, where he's a student. Ankit has facilitated student workshops for the Young Men Leading Change program, which aims to end gender-based violence and Youth Connections Ottawa, which helps prevent suicide in youth. Ankit worked with other students to successfully plan a student march in Westboro to speak out against gender-based violence. Ankit also created a workshop to help students process their thoughts and emotions following an incident at his school involving a student and the police. As an athlete, Ankit has been called skilled beyond his years and the best pure shooter in Canada. He is also remarkable off the court, working hard to set a good example for other students through kindness and respect. As an athlete and community leader, he is definitely one to watch, and I invite you to watch the video at this time.
I play for Canada Top Flight Academy. It's a basketball program here locally in Ottawa, and it helps aspiring young student athletes that want to obtain basketball scholarships at the next level. We pretty much practice every single day. We train, work out very hard, and it's intense. It was so hard for me to leave my mom, obviously, back home, but I realized moving to Ottawa was definitely for the better as far as being a student and an athlete, being a basketball player in my school. The younger students in general, they definitely look up to you. Initially, I started with Young Men Leading Change because I heard the fact that women, like every 1 in 3 women in their lifetime, experience sexual harassment or sexual abuse, and that really was just eye-opening for me, as it's an ongoing issue within our society. And I felt like as a male in my society, it was time for me to step up and really speak on that. In comparison to the beginning of last year, before we started doing these workshops, like the derogatory use of language, fighting and disrespect that was going on throughout the school, definitely minimized, and teachers took notice of it. Students all around the school, like everybody really just bought into the whole thing of giving respect. So my mom has always told me this message ever since I was 7, and it's to respect yourself and respect others. As cliche and simple as it sounds, it really just benefits everybody else. I was able to affect some of the younger kids' lives in a way, and just knowing that I did that, it really fills my heart. Shout out to Miss Kate Fournier. She's the one that set this whole thing up for me. I appreciate her so much and all that she does. And shout out to my mom. Shout out to my coach. They've done a lot for me. Honestly, ever since I made the move from Toronto to Ottawa, I've always felt like Ottawa was home to me. It was just like, it didn't matter that I'm not born or raised here. It was just the fact that I made a lot of great friends here. I'm close with a lot of family members here, and it's just something that I really take pride in. Ottawa is just a beautiful city. It has great people in it, and I just wanted to be able to help the community overall. It's a great city.
Well, Ankit, Ottawa is happy to have you here. What a well-deserved honor tonight. I will invite Councillor Rawson King, also Karim Meki, Community Leader, and Jim DeVoe, Chief Executive Officer of the Congress of Aboriginal Peoples, to present the award to Ankit. And Ankit, you are really something special. Where are you? Come on, where are you? There you are.
For me, it's not the job is not done, but what it means and what I hope people take from it is, it doesn't matter how busy you are, it doesn't matter, how hard your life is. Everybody can volunteer a little bit of time to make a difference in the community.
It's kind of a nice starting point for a player like youth. So it's like they give us like a variety of like choices on what to do. Like we can paint the wall, we can assist at a movie night, we can help out the elderly. It really gives us like a broad spectrum of things to choose from if we want to give back to the community.
So I think by continuously pushing that, you could be positive, it doesn't have to be gangs or drugs and all of this. It shows you that if we put our minds to something, we can create change.
We've developed a proven model. It works. We've done it, and I would just like to see it like in other communities and for more people to benefit, and so the whole country could be united.
What's engaging me all the time to help and work with youth is that I see the programs and services available to youth, but they're so scattered that I go and try to make sure it becomes accessible to those youth.
And sharing our stories was really important. There is much more a feel of pride of place. There's more connection between the solitudes, and a lot of friendships have been formed.
The project takes into consideration the trauma and the violence that a lot of generations have seen in the Somali community. So Raja actually means hope in Somali. And so my hope is that we're instilling hope within our communities.
I know that in Canada, Indigenous people, specifically women and girls, make up about 51% of all human trafficking statistics. The passion that I have for this work, it really comes from having such an amazing team that I work with that does a lot of the background work, so I can be front and center.
Initially, I started with Young Men Leading Change because I heard the fact that women, like every 1 in 3 women in their lifetime, experience sexual harassment or sexual abuse. And that really was just eye-opening for me, as it's an ongoing issue within our society. And I felt like as a male in my society, it was time for me to step up and really speak on that.